Hey folks, JD here, and today we've got this guy. This is the Syma X56W, and it's a folding quadcopter. So what I've done for the second is, since taking it out of my bag, I've just extended the propeller arms, just ready for flight. So a couple of things to note. First of all, I'm going to now attach this battery. So as you can see, small battery, huge battery bay door. That's the total opposite of what we usually have. And I'm just going to connect this battery. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's now nice and closed. So we've now got the battery connected. The camera lens is just pointing a little bit down. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just pointing ever so slightly down. What I'm going to do is just point that directly ahead, so when we are moving, when it does pitch forward, we then see exactly what we want to see and we're not looking too far down. The landing sprigs all have their little bit of rubber bungs on the bottom of them. Everything else is all done up. I've checked to make sure that these propellers, as I haven't put them on, are all put on nice. They're all nice and tight and there's no issues there. In order to record the video, we have to use an application called Syma Go. Now don't worry too much if you don't know a lot about this app. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail now, because tomorrow we have a video based on this app. I don't like giving away what videos come out very soon, but still, with this you do have to know something about it, so I'm going to do an actual video on it. Alright, so now then, to start, we should just push up once on this analog transmitter and the motors automatically start. So now we should just be able to take her straight up. And here she is, the Syma X56W. So obviously she has altitude hold. That is a nice little feature of this quadcopter, but there's one thing that I'm not liking about this straight off the bat, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. Yes, you're right, it is loud motors. Her turning circle is pretty good. She's got a great, she has got very good stability. She is not having any difficulty in turning. She's not having any difficulty in banking. She turns really quickly, and also, if you want her to, she turns really slowly as well. Now obviously she is in the highest speed mode here, speed mode setting 3, which I find that a little bit strange. I'm just going off the beeps I heard, whereas she only has 2 speed modes, not 3. Okay, let's take her up a little bit higher. That's a little bit too low to the ground for my liking. Alright, so flips. 1 flip completed really well. I often get a little bit anxious when there's a quadcopter of this size and they flip. I often find that the nano quadcopters flipping do a much better job, but this guy, fair play, you just got to make sure you have enough altitude, so when she does flip and she does right herself, she has plenty of room to do it. So let's bring a little bit closer, bring her up a little bit, and then using the right shoulder button, we get some lovely flips from her. So let's take her up again. Let's do it one last time. So we did a forward flip, we've done a sideward flip. Let's do a backward flip. Oh, someone's setting off fireworks nearby by the sound of it. But here we go. We have a very good quadcopter, a very loud quadcopter. I'm not too happy about that, if I'm honest. But she is performing the task of flying backwards and forwards really well. She flips really well. Let's see what she's like when she lands. So let's bring her into more or less a hover, as we've got there, and then let's bring her down. She lands and the motors turn off almost immediately. That's really quite nice. Let's have a look at the state of the rubber bungs underneath her now that we have landed. Fine, a couple of little dents as you'd expect from the hard gravel, but other than that, she's looking really good. So once again, to start her, I didn't show this very well the first time, so I'm going to show it now. Push up, and release, and then we have motors are ready to go. So just push up once on the left analog stick and release, and then the motors automatically start. And she remembered as well her last known configuration for which speed setting she was on as well. which is very handy. Rather than trying to figure out which speed setting she's on, she's automatically on speed setting 1. Now back into speed setting 2. Yeah, this guy is pretty good. I think this guy is a contender for the top spot off the Skytech. If I'm honest, the Skytech I found to be excellent in almost everything. But this guy is just as excellent, so I think, to be honest, we're going to have to put them side by side and see which one comes out better at a later date. Yeah, this one, if it wasn't for the loud motors, it would be brilliant. But I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of loud motors. There's no excuse for it. Remarkable, really, really good. Really stable. Flies really well in a straight line, turns really well if on the highest speed mode. She banks to the left, banks to the right really well. She turns really well. Altitude holds her at a given altitude really well as well. The barometer inside works very good. Motors are a bit loud, not much of a fan of that. But what does make things a little bit better, the fact that she does have folding propeller arms, altitude hold that works really well. Look at that. Now I'm not moving now. It's got a little bit of a breeze here today, so she is moving slightly. But that is really, really good. And above all else, the landing sprigs don't look as if they can do much, but to be honest with you, they hold really well when you land. The battery life, well, we're still experiencing the battery life. I think she's been up so far for about 11 minutes. So again, this is like the Skytech. Oh, lights are flashing. There we are. So battery is now low. So let's bring her back and let's get a verdict on this guy. Okay, let's bring him forward a bit more. And let's land him. There we are, lovely. Alright, let's get a verdict. Alright, so what do I think? Right, well, straight off the bat, motors, very loud, don't need to be, and I'll tell you why they don't need to be. There are so many different types of motors out there. But in order to obviously keep costs low, then motors have to be used which are not as quiet, a little bit louder, and this is what I think is what's happened in this particular quadcopter. And that is a shame, because this excels on so many levels. Folding propeller arms takes up absolutely no room in your bag. The camera is really good. The fact that it all records directly onto your smartphone, that's another good feature. The fact that this is really sturdy, that's a good feature. These little rubber bungs under here work really well when you land it. It just lands straight away. Yes, there's a couple of depressions in there from the gravel, but to be honest with you, that is to be expected. That's not the end of the world. Battery life is fantastic. I mean, we had 11 and a half minutes out of this guy before the battery lights were flashing, and then I brought it down. If I'd kept it up, it probably could have got to the 12-minute mark. Transmitter, standard Syma transmitter, but still works very, very well in this configuration. The 3D flips work phenomenally, forward, back, left and right without any issues. Altitude hold works excellently again. So everything is ticked on this particular quadcopter. If you don't mind loud motors, then that's not going to be much of an issue. I do mind them, and I think there's no excuse for them. So therefore, personally, I think that's one major downer. But obviously, that's just my findings. Now, a couple of other great things about this copter is that she's very aerodynamic, and this cuts through the air without any issues as well. If she's on speed mode 1, you will find that you do have to take into consideration that you do have to start turning her before you want to turn her, so that she does complete that full rotation and starts to come back to you. Because as she's turning, she still flies backwards. So if you're going forward, let me just demonstrate. If you're going forward and then you start to turn, she's still goes forward until she's fully turned, and then the motors start to power her forward. So you do have to make sure you have plenty of room to do that. On speed mode 2, which is the highest setting, you don't need to make sure as much, because she will just turn around and come back to you straight away. She's very, very quick in doing that on speed mode 2, so just be warned. So there we are, folks. So thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.